Get rid of N from Fang. Netflix needs to go.
And that's Netflix revenue.
Yeah.
Just burning money.
You have to change the order of the words?
Yeah.
Look at
I know. Yep.
Gas.
What's it called now?
Anand wants to just cause a complete disaster to Wall Street. Drop the N and Fang.
Yeah. I'm going all in on
Imagine CNBC.
But in all seriousness, Netflix should not be in the same conversation as Facebook, Apple, Amazon, and Google.
We can put Tesla.
Not.
Yeah, you could put Tesla.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, group chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
Hey guys, welcome to group chat.
Woo!
Woo! We got a hot episode. We got an interview and we got a lot of news to talk about. It is earnings time. It is Fed meeting time. The stock market is making big, big moves. There's a lot of losers that are now winners. There's a lot of old winners that are kind of losing at the moment. So we got a lot to talk about. We have an interview. Who are we talking to?
We got Daniel Yadgard, a really old friend of mine in the apparel space, talking about just our history in the industry, but also this incredible product that they just launched in the last couple of years in America called ARC and home carbonation. Really cool business. And of course, he's going to hook everyone up with a really sick discount code. And then we have to get all the Chatty Cathy club members taken care of. The Discord is live. We finally made it easier to get in. The first day was really rough to get in. We got everyone in. Everyone's starting to trickle in. Anand's going to announce tonight the meeting spot for his big meetup tomorrow afternoon. And then we have a giveaway for Sunday's pod for all the club members. But yeah, if you're interested, chattycathyclub.com. All the cool stuff is rolling out. We have now a community manager, which is John from Dropped. So any suggestions, any ideas in the Discord, hit up John. He is there. We even launched a directory. So everyone's going to input like where they work, what they do, so that we can start looking at all that information and like really, building that community. So check it out.
Love it. Okay, good stuff. You guys ready?
Go.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, everyone. Before we get into today's episode, we got a old friend on the podcast today. Fun story. I met Daniel and his business partners probably 20 years ago.
20 plus.
20 plus years ago, and not in a very sexy place. I met them at a little place called the Embassy Suites in a number of locations. One in the outskirts of Philadelphia, outskirts of Baltimore, maybe outskirts of Michigan.
I was throughout
Chicago,
the Northeast, the Mid-Atlantic, and the Midwest was a lot. I was definitely saw you once in a while, but your rep, I forget his name. We used to roll with him constantly.
Oh yeah, Ronnie.
Yeah.
And so
that was fun though. That's when that business was very different and a lot of fun.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, like pre-internet, when you wanted to sell product, you had to go and sell it to a retailer.
Yep.
And the way that world worked was basically there was these big trade shows, which if you're in apparel, there was Magic and there was Project and all these big shows that basically the entire industry went, brands and retailers, and hundreds of thousands of people went to these shows. And then
it was our Super Bowl twice a year.
Yeah, it was huge. It was fun and it was crazy, and
you collect so many orders on the spot. Go back to the hotel room every single night with a stack. Yeah, because people just give you business on the spot right away.
Yeah, it's so wild that was what was happening. And then there was all these regional shows. And the regional shows is where I met Daniel and his partners, Dre and Ari and Antoine back in the day. And they all were working for different brands. And it's a really funny dynamic on the road here because there was this small group of younger guys on the road. And then everyone else was like 70, 60.
Yeah. We were the babies in the group, and there was these old guys that knew the business, and candidly, like, I got my first job in the business through a guy named Steve Kahn at Parasuco.
Oh yeah.
My dad gave Steve Kahn his first job in the business. So
God, full circle.
Yeah, he wanted to give me the shot, and at that point I'd like just finished college. I'm like, I'm not getting in this business, but like it seemed like an opportunity at the time, and like that was I don't know, I was 21, so that was like 25 years ago.
And I remember in those shows, like the highlight was the 5 o'clock happy hour at the Embassy Suites with the free peanuts and like I think free cocktails. The manager cocktail hour for like an hour, and basically these older guys were like, "You got to go down. It's free fucking drinks." I mean, the show was dead. 5 p.m. You went down and you had some free peanuts and some free whiskey or whatever they were serving.
Yeah.
It was, and I remember like after being on the road for like months, I remember like I think calling my mom or forgot, maybe it was my mom, and I was just like, man, this is not what I thought fashion was.
Was this the beginning of 5-4?
Yeah, the beginning of 5-4. It was so depressing. By the way, like we were in Embassy Suites.
But it had to be so exciting. Like you guys, it was a brand. It's your brand.
Yeah.
You were young. You're younger than me, I think.
I was 21 when I started doing that.
And you guys were doing it. Like, you
But
were one of the brands in these stores that was seeing success. Like,
but it took a couple years. Like the first couple years.
A couple of years is fine.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah. And if you don't know, like this is like early streetwear. Early streetwear, like brands like LRG.
We were still playing. I mean,
Creative
the
Rec.
terminology is we built Creative Rec, but we were like coming out of urban, right? What we deemed was urban, which is a monster business where you had your Fat Farm, FUBUs, Rocawares, and these were brands that were doing $500 million to $1 billion.
Yeah, people don't realize like no present day streetwear brand, with the exception of Essentials, is mirroring the size of these businesses.
And then when we started the foundation in 2007, we were on the verge of what we called streetwear. And I know there was terminologies,
the
different
young kids
for different
will get
people,
offended,
but like we were building A Life and Crooks and Castles and information and fiber ops and stuff like that. And our mindset was like, that's going to be the new urban, right?
Yeah.
But it's different. Like we're not going to build $500 million brands. We're going to build $100 million brands, and that's going to be awesome. And there's just going to be more of them, right?
Yeah.
Like no, no, like the egos that went into that, all the brands, and like the way people thought about things was just wasn't jiving. And like none of these guys, like best in class, #1 brand of streetwear, like maybe broke 15 mil.
Yeah.
I won't name names, but
yeah.
And it was exciting because, we were definitely on the verge of that whole category, and we had a lot of the brands, but it was also like disappointing. Like, this isn't going to be
as big as we thought.
No.
Yeah. And then a few years later, a few brands started breaking out and it got exciting. I think for me with you guys, like you guys were the best salespeople I had ever been around. And I must have asked Dre 50 times to work with us. And he gracefully declined every single time. But like you guys always had an impeccable selection of brands, and it's been fun to see because like you guys started as like salespeople that have now built this like, what would you call it now?
I mean, now it's interesting because we're like everything now. We're sales, distribution, marketing, and all of our business is tied up in stuff that we either distribute, license, or own.
Yeah.
Everything we work with. Like that's kind of the criteria now.
And can you give people some of the brands you guys work with? So the name of the company is called the Foundation Group.
The Foundation. We named ourselves the Foundation because we feel what we try to do is build brands the right way.
Yeah.
So in order to do so, you need to provide them a good foundation, the right stores at the right time with the right level of growth, and not just, oh, your brand's hot, just whore it out to everyone. Like that was always what we strived not to do, and just build for, longevity.
Yeah.
And we did that for like we're outside sales agency. So we didn't own any inventory. All we did was get paid commission to build brands. But what got frustrating is you take these brands, you build them from 0 to 5 to 10 to 20 to $30 million. And then like everyone just takes for granted sales. And they're like, oh, we can do this. We don't need to pay them all this commission. And lo and behold, they try and take it in-house.
Yeah.
100% of the time it fails.
Yeah.
But we were sick of getting burned. So we're like, about 5-6 years ago at this point, we're like, let's take a little bit more risk and let's start owning some inventory. Let's sign some distribution deals. So, you still don't own the brand, but
at least you control the destiny. Yeah.
Yeah, you're more invested. So it's more risk, more reward. So, the brand can still be like, peace out, but it's a lot more complicated because, you're the vendor of record with all the retailers and stuff like that. And, what I realized was like, we signed up to be a distributor with a lot of these guys. And then like always had a hard time like getting the deal done because like the margin structure was something that people were like, you're asking for too much. Like, this is not what distributors, generally command. And what I realized, like, we're much more than a distributor. We literally are the brand within the territory. Yeah. Generally, we handle the US and Canada, and we do everything. Like, we do the internal marketing, we hire outside PR agencies, we do the digital, we do the website. So we literally are doing everything. And once they realize that, like, oh, all we need to do is like sell you the product and you pick it up at the factory and like our hands are clean after that, then it was like much more digestible. So that's what we do now. We're founded really in apparel. I kind of took a different path after a few years, but some of the brands we work on now are Kappa. We have the license for, been doing that for like 6 years, Italian sportswear brand. We've been working with Billionaire Boys Club and ice cream. We really, if you're going to look at one red line through the 15 years, young men's streetwear has really been our niche. We've done stuff within women's, we've done stuff contemporary, Ari built the PRPS brand back in the day. So like we played in all channels, but young men's streetwear is really our core competency. And then I got a taste for stuff outside of apparel probably about 13 years ago, two-ish years after we started, and started one of the brands we were working on came out with headphones, and they're like, we want headphones to be a fashion accessory. Seemed crazy at the time, but the iPhone had just come out, and it was clear that made sense, and all the headphones that were out there were black and white.
Yep.
So we came with a range of headphones that were all different colors and collaborations with street artists and stuff like that under the WSC brand.
Yeah.
And then my friend who started that for them went out and started his own company called Zound Industries. And then we, the foundation, signed on with them kind of in a hybrid distribution sales agency mode. And we launched Urban Ears and then Marshall headphones and speakers. So we built that for like 12 years, selling into Apple, Best Buy, Target. But the more interesting thing was we were the first ones to put headphones into like Urban Outfitters, Nordstrom, Bloomingdale's, and really made them a fashion accessory, which they were destined to be because, all of a sudden Apple was, it is a fashion statement, and, you're constantly talking on your phone, and you're just using your headphones a lot. So when people were really into the over-ear, so it has to look good.
Yeah. It's interesting. And it's interesting to see the transition from apparel. And then today, I remember, I think last year when I was in your office in New York, you started showing me like the home products. And I was like, oh shit. And what's interesting about it is to the transition of like young men's streetwear, which basically streetwear kind of evolved in the 20 years we've been in the industry. Now all of these people that we basically sold clothes to our whole life are now older and they have money.
Yeah.
And now they still have a keen sense of taste and nicer and better things. And you're now able to sell, specifically young men, for example, are not a category historically that care about how their rooms looked, care about how their homes look. And you're seeing this like transition where like, specifically guys are now very, like I'll go into like a single guy's apartment and I'll be like, damn, this is not how my place looked like when I was 25. And Brian, who was my roommate, he always
didn't care.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
No.
It didn't matter. Now, like, everyone has like bear bricks and skateboards on the wall and some like rare Andy Warhol book, and they actually care what everything looks like. There's a real fascinating thing. So when you started talking about like home products, I was like, oh, that does kind of make sense. It feels like that's the transition. Like now we're all married with kids. Are we going to go buy $1,000 jackets and sneakers? Probably not as much as we probably would have done 15 years ago, but we still will spend money on things that we find, and appreciate.
Yeah. I mean, when I got into tech, I got the taste for brand building, but in a different way. So like what got boring for me in fashion was like when you're building a fashion brand, it's like very much working in a box, right? Like you're building this type of brand and you want this type of guy to wear it. So you got to put it in this type of store.
Yeah.
And it's like connect the dots, right?
Yeah.
And what I liked about tech and building those types of brands is like, it was creative from the perspective that I was able to try and get it into these fashion stores, but then I can also call on Best Buy, and I was selling to Verizon and Apple. And then I was also selling to airport stores, and I was selling to museum stores. And it was like, this is great. Like, it's just like, it's never ending corporate gifting. Like, so just there was a level of creativity from a distribution standpoint that was just a lot of fun for me. And then like, I never really wanted to go back to fashion. I still love it, but and I'm obviously invested and involved with my partners and their businesses, but this is a little bit more fun for me. And then to your point, 5-6 years ago was when we stepped into like some of the home/tech stuff. And that for me, I'm in my 40s and I got a taste for like just different messaging, and like sustainability is kind of something I've drawn to with the Steamery brand, with the Arc brand, with the Soda brand. These are all European brands, and there's more to it than just selling the product and putting it in the stores and building the business. Like, we're really trying to educate the consumer on garment care and get people off the fast fashion train and get them on the slow fashion train, educate them on how to take care of your clothes and give them the tools in order
Incredible
to do so.
steamer, by the way.
Thank you. But like you guys talk about, what's that Chinese website all the time? Shein. Like that is everything that is wrong with the fashion industry. And to your point, the fact that like our government allows that type of thing is just insane, because like it's so bad for the environment. Like I think fashion is like one of the top 5 worst things for the environment ever. And the crazy thing is, like, I was wearing a sweater yesterday, and like my partner's like, "Is that still your like double RL?" I'm like, "I've had that thing for 15 years." Yeah. Like, yeah, I spent way too much money on it, but I've had it for 15 years. I'll have it for 15 more. Yeah. Take care of it. And like, that's what fashion should be. Yeah. So getting that messaging is just a lot more fun for me. And then
and I think to your point that like on the sustainability and just people awareness, I remember when you first told me about Arc, I am a very, very avid sparkling water drinker. Yeah. I have to basically drink it every single day. It's I don't like to drink like 8 cups of coffee a day, but I like to have something, and I can't because I'm old and just metabolism isn't like they're used to. So I can't have soda. I can't like drink anything with sugar in it. So probably like the last 10 years, sparkling water has become like an addiction of mine. And
you're not alone.
Yeah. And like, what's funny about that I appreciate about Arc that's so important. So when I think about like my sparkling water intake, I look at like all the brands, right? There's La Croix, there's Perrier, there's Topo Chico, and all these things. And I realized of the consumable products, I like Topo Chico the most because it's like overly carbonated. And you were telling me when you first told me about Arc, he was like, you can set the carbonation level. And I was like, no fucking way. And I'll even do it twice. I overcarbonate my shit. It's so bubbly to a point that like,
you'll hit it like 3 times.
Yes.
3 is like way too aggressive for me. Like my son loves 3. Like he'll just keep going. And then like, I'm like, how do you do that? It's like burning your mouth. And he's like, I love it.
Yeah. And it's something about like, I don't know, that you get to control it because everyone's taste.
I'm a Pellegrino type of guy, like light, crisp bubbles. But most people are more like you.
Yeah. And so how would you describe ARC?
I mean, it's a category that's been around forever. SodaStream has been doing it for decades. People often ask, like, who's your competition? SodaStream? And I'm like, no, not really. Like, they're our contemporary. They're in a category that we're in, but it's a category that needs to grow, and you need multiple brands in it. You need good, better, best. So I'd argue that just the two of us in the space are not even enough to really
make it
move
bigger.
The needle. Yeah. But these guys out of Sweden, Stockholm specifically, came up with the idea, because they live in an area where home carbonation has like 25-30% household penetration. It's a huge business. But again, dominated by a bunch of plastic, ugly, in my opinion, home carbonators that sit on your countertop. And like, we just care too much about what goes on the countertop, right? Like, it's a really sought after space, and it has to look good if it's going to make it on the countertop, at least for a lot of people that we're trying to appeal with. So they came up with something that was just much more aesthetically pleasing. It's made out of stainless steel. It comes in
it's beautiful
copper and matte black and stainless steel, like the polished steel. And then we'll do like limited edition finishes and stuff like that. But we've been doing our thing for 5 years off the back of how beautiful it is. We have really great partnerships with Williams-Sonoma and Crate and Barrel and the Bay in Canada and the Museum of Modern Art.
Wow.
But the struggle is educating people more on home carbonation, right? Like, we've been really successful and sold like hundreds of thousands of ARC machines in this country. But it's like not enough. And going back to like, who's your competition? My competition is not SodaStream. My competition is Perrier, Pellegrino, LaCroix, Spindrift, all that stuff like that.
Spindrift, I know, like my wife and kids will drink it. It's disgusting.
I mean, what's
your
nice,
son loves it.
Loves
and every time
it.
he's at our house,
he's having. If there's a Spindrift, he'll go get it.
You know what's good about it is real juice. It's not like
it's just
chemicals.
not carbonated enough.
Oh well, that's
it tastes like
your
what's
DNA.
Fascinating as I was learning about your story at the home carbonation, I actually invested in a company that this was their mission. It was called Roshan, and they sold. I just looked it up because this was like during the pandemic. They sold to a company called Pentair. Have you heard of them?
I've heard of Pentair, yeah.
Yeah. But that was his whole mission, like home carbonation, eliminate plastic bottles and cans.
And that's where I'm pivoting. Like, we're going to continue building the brand and showcasing people how beautiful the product is and why it's sustainable from a long-term perspective, because it's of a higher quality and it's going to last you 5-10 years. But really trying to, and SodaStream used to do this. Like, they used to educate people and shame companies like Pepsi and Coke, because there's just so much unnecessary waste there, right? People don't realize, because like, you're paying, my wife used to get like the 8 packs of Perrier grapefruit, right? Fresh Direct, automatic order every week, $7.99.
Yeah.
$1 a can.
Yeah.
You do the math on that, like $7.99, not so expensive. $400 a year.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
And how much is a machine?
350 plus cans unnecessary.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get it.
And what's the retail on ARC?
Opening price point for a C3 is $229. So most people, most households, family households, are spending over $800 a year on carbonated beverages.
Wow.
Like if that's what you're doing, like you're buying bottles or cans, you're spending over $800. So people sometimes like
look
and they're like $229. Like, that's expensive. Like, what you're doing already is expensive. And at the end of the day, that $229 plus the cost of CO2 to refill it, you're going to save $200 in year one.
Yeah.
Including the cost of the machine.
Yeah.
And every year after that, you're going to save $400 plus. Not to mention, you're not going to put anywhere from 500, 600, 700 bottles or cans through the system anymore. And it's not just like, well, I recycle them. Like, cool, you recycle.
Recycle's bullshit anyways. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
10, 20% I think get recycled.
Just gets burned in China.
But
That's all that happens.
let's forget all about it. And let's say you're being conscious and you are recycling. And let's say you're using cans and not plastic. That's all great. But like, just think about the impact on the earth. That thing had to be made in what factory, go to what DC, go to what retailer's warehouse.
The carbon footprint of that can or
obscene. And then where it has to go after, you're done. Whereas at the end of the day, like, people are like, there's no waste with home carbonation. Like, literally none. You literally take the water from your tap or your filter or whatever, carbonate it, drink it out of your glass, clean the glass after. There's zero waste. It's powered by a CO2 cartridge, which has a 10-year lifespan that you just keep refilling and refilling. And then, like, another thing ARC did, which was brilliant and I think provides us a real point of differentiation. The most frustrating thing I've encountered through using home carbonation for the past 5 years is you just forget to refill the CO2 cylinders.
Yeah.
Like, you forget to take the empty with you, go to Bed Bath & Beyond, Williams-Sonoma.
That happened to me with the one at home.
Yeah. So, and then you end up like, oh shit, and you're in Target and you're like, oh, just grab a new one. So you end up with like 6 cylinders.
Yeah.
So what ARC did was they came up with something called the cylinder loop. And it's kind of brilliant because all you need to do is own 3 cylinders. And the mindset is you can send 2 back that are empty and you still have one in the machine to use while we're doing the exchange. So you'll send the empties back to us in regular USPS mail. So you just put it in your mailbox.
Wow.
You know, you don't have to go on our website. You don't have to call for a pickup. Just put it in your mailbox. As soon as USPS scans it, we get a notification. We scan your card, $42 for 2 full cylinders, shipped directly to your door via FedEx. And it's probably, depending on where you live, at your house within 4 or 5 days, 7 maximum.
Wow. And
it's like almost like magic. So the beauty is like, it's not a subscription fee. There's no monthly anything. If you refill your cylinders once a year, you'll get charged $42 once a year. If you never send them back, you'll never get charged again.
Yeah.
More importantly, we have customers that refill every 2 weeks. It's just so much easier.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to go anywhere. You can also do it in the store.
Yeah.
So you'll save a few bucks, you know, because you got to cover the delivery. But that took out the one nuisance to home carbonation, because that was the one nuisance.
Yeah.
Because you'd also just run out of CO2 and then forget to refill, and then you just wouldn't be using it.
Exactly.
So that was also the beauty. So,
and I think the other interesting thing is that I think when you sent me one, it was, you gave me like flavored like elixirs, I guess.
Oh yeah, we have the flavor drops, which are brilliant because like forever we were just doing the carbonator, and you know,
most people like some sweetness.
Exactly. So you had to. We're just really competing with like if you're drinking straight carbonated water.
Yeah.
But adding the syrups and the flavor drops specifically are brilliant because now you're literally recreating like the LaCroix and the Perrier. Like our grapefruit flavor drop is literally a profile in between a Perrier and a LaCroix grapefruit, which is like the best selling one in the country. Yeah. So you buy one of those glass bottles of drops for $14.99 and it'll make 100 drinks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like Swedish people care about the earth.
They do. And that's the biggest challenge I have here because they don't get it. Because I'm like, you know, all this customer wants is like, what's the laziest, easiest thing I can do?
Yeah.
And it's like cracking a can.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think we have enough people here that do care about sustainability. But more importantly, I do know we have enough people here that care about the value proposition. Like, oh shit, I can save like $400 a year and like buy those shoes now. Like,
yeah. You can basically be a millionaire if you get an ARC.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. You said
you
it,
take
not me.
Compounding annually over.
No, but it's like people are like, you know, I don't know if I can afford that. And it's like, if you're that customer, can you afford not to? It's an investment. It's not a cost.
Yeah.
If you're drinking the bottles and cans, like if you're not drinking it, like if you're drinking 3 or 4 cans a week in your household, keep doing that. Like that doesn't make sense, you know, unless a lot of people like to buy it just because it's super sexy and
it looks cool.
Drop in the glass bottle, you know, that's cool. But at the end of the day, if literally you are consuming as a household 1 or more a year, you're saving money and you're obviously doing better for the environment, but you're saving money right away.
What's the deal? You got a deal for us?
Yeah, I wasn't told to make a deal, but let's make a deal.
Let's make a deal. First of
should
all,
we
where
do?
do people buy it?
There's a ton of retail stores, anywhere from Williams-Sonoma, Crate and Barrel, The Bay, Target, Food 52. Our website, you'll have everything, all finishes, all models, arc.us, AARKE.us. Yeah, what kind of discount should we do?
Group chat code? We need a code.
But what should we do?
What kind of discount can you give us? Are Swedish generous with discounts, or are they?
Well, it's on me.
Okay.
Yeah, he's controlling. Didn't you hear? It's vertically integrated. He's the one.
Oh yeah, it's all your money anyways.
Remember, I just told you how bad
What do you got?
business is
25
with
off?
this
You got
economy?
25 off?
How long do I got to do 25 off? If I got to do 25 off,
2 weeks.
till Valentine's Day.
Perfect. It's the perfect Valentine's Day gift.
It is
There
the
it
perfect
is.
Valentine's
Yes.
Day gift. Absolutely.
I like it. Valentine's Day, February 14th.
25 off.
Group chat.
What's the code we should do?
Group chat.
Group chat.
One word.
Group chat with a heart emoji? No, just group chat.
All right, that's perfect. We'll do the code group chat, 25 off. That's actually
On
incredible.
hardware. Let's say that.
Hardware.
So you have the Carbonator 3, you have the Carbonator Pro, and you have the Purifier. So that's, you've heard of Brita?
Yeah.
Okay, so same thing. What's wrong with Brita? Your water's sitting in plastic. We made one
I
all
didn't
glass,
know you got the
all
Brita thing.
stainless steel,
Competitor.
and no chunks of plastic you throw away every month. Like ours is, you refill the granules. So we have.
I have a Brita. I can replace that right away then.
You might get more than 25 off.
Oh,
Wow.
I like that. I like that.
That's brand new, that item.
Oh, that's amazing. All right. So arc.us.
Change the world,
AARKE.
change your life, save money.
Yeah.
AARKE.us.
Perfect.
Amazing, man. Daniel, great to see
You know
you.
what you got to stop? You got to stop with this.
You just killed
This
two
is what
dolphins
they
with
gave
that.
me when I walked in, which is horrible.
You just killed
You should
two.
just pour it out.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Hey guys, great interview.
Great interview. I love sparkling water and I love ARC.
Okay, well, this is the episode for you then.
Yeah.
You want to get down to reality? Actually, I don't really know how to feel here. We have kind of a hodgepodge of news today. So like, it's earnings season. So there's going to be a lot going on in the markets because of that. And we're going to get a read of what's been happening for the last quarter. Also, it's, Fed time. The Fed just raised rates 25 basis points. So a little bump, minor bump, but also is saying that they don't see any world where they reduce rates this year. So that, I would consider that like not great news. There's a lot of not great news in earnings, but the market is ripping.
Ripping.
So we got a lot to talk about. Do you want to start with the Fed?
Yeah, I think that's basically what's driving all the chaos in the markets this week. Jerome Powell, J. Powell, came out and, everyone is just on pins and needles. You're talking about trillions of dollars are at stake based on what this guy says. And there was no surprise that they were going to raise a quarter basis point. It's what he says. That's all that matters. And he wasn't aggressive. Like there's two words. There's dovish or hawkish. Hawkish means that inflation continues to be persistent. We are going to continue to raise aggressively and we're not stopping. He didn't say that. He kind of said,
He was pushing soft landing yesterday.
Yeah, he basically said there are places where inflation has cooled and did indicate that there are things that are still that need to be addressed, but maybe Jerome Powell's a genius.
25 feels unnecessary though. Why not just don't touch it and be like, you know what, we're going to see. Things are moving in the right direction.
So here's what happened.
Off those interest
Here's
rates,
what happened.
Jerome.
Basically, in the last 2 days, the market has gone ape shit.
Yeah.
I would say the week.
The week, the month, the whole year, basically.
Yeah, it's the best start for the NASDAQ since 1975.
This coming off the heels of basically the worst year ever. The worst
We're
year
back
ever.
to nothing makes sense.
And I think, as the news of the Fed came out, the market closed yesterday, and the really big news, I mean, I think it's blockbuster for someone for this podcast, was Meta.
Oh, Meta. My boy Zuck.
I mean, what's
Meta.
going on?
He got off the mat. He went back to the office.
No, get off the mat and take off the VR goggles, and all of a sudden,
Let's talk about what happened with Meta's earnings. Expected $31.6.5 billion of revenue for the quarter. Came in at 32.17. Advertising 30.86. Came in at 31.25.
back to advertising.
Earnings declined still. There's a lot of costs probably associated with,
who cares? Minor details.
Yeah, whatever.
Facebook daily active users up to 2 billion. Family of apps of daily active users went to 2.96.
We're on.
Here's the big news. The Reality Labs operating loss is still $4.28 billion.
But he cut CapEx spend by $9 billion from what people were expecting him to spend this year.
So that was the big news.
Yeah,
He said he announced it as the year of efficiency. And then he drops a mega hammer. He drops a $40 billion buyback.
Unbelievable. And
I think he was sick of being poor. I think he was sick of being poor. And he's like, fuck this. I can make 10 changes and I could be one of the richest men in the world again.
So 23 hours ago on his Insta story, so right before the call, he posted an Insta story. Couldn't have imagined in 2004 that Facebook would have 2 billion daily active users, and he's applauding himself. He knew, he saw the stock in after hours. He was like, I'm back.
Yeah. I'm back, baby.
It's like the Michael Jordan where Scottie Pippen put the shoes. He's back.
Yeah. It's insane. The comeback is insane. And remember, I was telling you guys that I went to that WonderCo conference and got to meet Kevin Systrom. And Kevin Systrom said, the one thing I know is you never bet against this guy.
We've been saying that for years. You can't bet against this guy.
No.
The stock's up over 100% in 3 months. This is not a 30.
Imagine if you actually bought the stock.
I know. I didn't put my money. I'm such an idiot. I didn't put my money.
Oh
where
yeah,
my
we
mouth was.
told you.
You said, I asked you, are you long Zuck?
Oh man,
I was long Zuck, and I even got calls like, "How much are we buying?" And I was like, "I didn't do anything."
That would have been the best trade of all time.
Imagine if I went on options. Could have made like 100x.
Yeah,
That was
easily
perfect
100x.
timing too.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah,
It's
that's
insane.
a bummer. I just wonder, like my sort of like, movie brain, like Social Network Part 2. Like, I wonder what happened internally, because he was like, there was no sign of stopping up and through the end of last year. And then all of a sudden, I guess right at the end of last year, it just was like, all right, enough's enough. Like there was an enough's enough moment.
I think at the end of the day, he's a really smart guy. He went for something big. It's not going to materialize anytime soon. Is he going to jeopardize the kingdom for the metaverse?
Yeah, I think
if he had changed the company name back to Facebook, the stock went up another 100%.
I agree.
I literally, if he had
maybe
just
that's next quarter's 25%.
yeah, you know
pop.
what? Fuck the metaverse. We're going.
Yeah.
We're going.
Because this is how all these things work. After everyone does the earnings call, the CFO goes and talks to all their biggest shareholders. What do we need to do? Because they got clobbered last earnings call, right?
Yeah.
And they had conversations with all the Fidelities and BlackRocks of the world, and they probably made it very clear: stop spending on AR, VR.
Yeah.
Get back to your core, and we'll buy.
And someone said that, I think they mentioned, I forgot the ratio of words, like how many times they mentioned metaverse. Guess what they mentioned more than metaverse? AI.
Oh, smart.
AI is hot.
Yeah.
AI.
Smart. I mean,
Yep. They should change the name to Meta GPT. The stock would pop that way too.
Facebook GPT would be
Facebook,
awesome.
yeah.
FB GPT.
FBGPT.
FBGPT, that thing fucking doubles.
It's worth $1 trillion. It's worth $1 trillion tomorrow. It's
man.
unbelievable. Like,
And let's talk about Tesla.
Tesla's up 100%.
In like 2 weeks, it's up
I didn't even check.
90%.
What's going on over at Tesla?
It's just booming. They had a monster earnings. So that was a week or two ago. But this guy, I was kind of like, I'm obviously an outspoken Elon Musk supporter. And I was kind of like, This guy's making me look bad. This guy's going to lose all his money. The company's going to bankrupt. Twitter is screwed. He's back.
You know what's funny is Tesla's on fire, and Kathy Wood, who hasn't been on the air, at least I haven't seen interviews in a long time.
Yeah.
She was all over. She did a whole circuit today. Because she started buying Tesla at $100 in the beginning of this year.
You know what two companies she was buying?
74% in the last month.
The companies she was buying Coinbase, she was buying Tesla, she was buying everything.
Coinbase hit a $30 low this month of January. Sorry, we're in February. It's at almost $80 now.
Yeah. All of her thesis stocks have mildly recovered.
We're back.
Mild, but I think the real story, at least with the Teslas and the Coinbases and even Carvana, they were so shorted, and these were all just short coverings for these tech companies. You don't go up 90% in a month if it weren't for like a short squeeze.
Yeah.
The rest of the market is just basically, let's get the party started again, because I know we kind of said this facetiously, but it's kind of true. Like, people don't want 2022 again in 2023.
2022 is not a vibe.
Not a vibe.
Not a
vibe.
No.
It's not a vibe.
And human psychology, everyone wants everything to go up.
We want to win. Who wants to lose?
And with that much
Plus,
cash,
we said 12 years of winning.
Yeah.
1 year of
14.
losing feels like shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no one wants to lose. So I mean,
we learned our lesson.
when you have trillions of dollars that need to be put to work, U.S. equity market's the safest place.
The other interesting thing is like inherently these earnings are not that great, right? Like Google and Amazon and Apple all reported earnings after the bell today. And I think all of their stocks are down. They all, like Apple reported a sales decline. Some of it's due to kind of the manufacturing shortages that because of all the COVID issues in China. You know, Google also light guidance, Amazon as well. And I think it's not like the news is good. I think it's just not that bad. And I think it's clear that the companies are willing to make the necessary changes to weather the storm. And that is, you're getting rewarded for that.
Yeah. I think what the market wanted to see is even if you have slight misses on revenue or earnings or ad growth decline, like in Google's sake, they just want to see that you're not falling off a cliff. Yeah. They want to see that the general economy is strong, which it still is. So even if you didn't grow for the first time, your base was so high and inflated the last 3 years, you're not falling off a cliff.
Yeah, like, look, let's take Apple. Apple did $117 billion in revenue last quarter. They were expected to do 121. So it is a big miss. It's $4 billion, but it's only 5% because Apple's so freaking big.
Yeah.
Their iPhone revenue is down 8%. The Mac revenue is down 28%. iPad revenue is up 29%. And then other products are down 8%. They still made $30 billion in profit.
Apple's, I mean, what Tim Cook did was tweak a few things post Steve Jobs, which was when you buy your phone. I just got a new iPhone this week. It doesn't come with a charger, doesn't come with headphones. So if you want that, you have to spend an extra like a couple $100.
What do you mean it doesn't come with a charger? It comes with a cord.
Yeah, but it doesn't come with a plug.
There's a wire, but nothing to plug it into.
Yeah.
I mean, you just do that. That's probably an extra couple $1 billion a year. Yeah. Here, we're just going to take the plug out.
It seems to me like they really are just rewarding. Like when things get tough, I think that like no one knows for sure like that there's any sort of like terrible catastrophic thing coming. But when things get tough, the question is, can you adjust? And Facebook adjusted. Tesla's made some adjustments. Like it seems like they're being rewarded for like, okay, they're at least suited to weather the storm or be in a really great growth position if things go well. But that seems to be what's being rewarded, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think in the cases of those companies, 100%. The company I do not understand is Peloton, because that must be just a short
they're
covering.
On fire.
I need
to renew my subscription. I think I might be able to save my bike from the dumpster before the trash guy comes. I'm back.
I mean, this thing lost still $335 million.
Subs are up.
What are you doing?
I was talking
to
revenue dropped 30%.
I was talking to one of our super close friends, remain nameless. He's in the business of private equity retail, and he was telling me, he's like, we know Bed Bath & Beyond is going out of business or going bankrupt. Like, that's happening any day.
Yeah, we know that. Yeah.
Look at the stock.
Yeah.
Stock's on fire.
The hot stock.
Subs are up.
That's unbelievable. Yeah, I just looking at it. The stock
It just
is
doesn't
up.
make sense. Yeah.
No one wants to keep losing. Just let us rally.
Subs
I
are
just
up.
want the
Let's
rally
go.
caps on.
Yeah, come on. Let's get back to party. Give us 12 more years.
Yeah,
14,
12
however
more
a
long.
years.
good 12,
Yeah.
and I won't ask for anything after that.
The next generation can get fucked.
Yeah.
As long as you get what
If you
you
had a
want.
good 12, cash out, let it all crumble. That's fine. Man.
I think it's pretty fascinating what's happening in the market. I'm really curious to see, like, can it maintain? Can it? I mean, if the year ended today, it would be the biggest win.
Yeah.
Like, if you can
They
just
should wrap it up.
Like, as far as I'm concerned, just don't go down. Just stop.
It's going to keep going up.
Let's
I
keep
wonder
going up,
because
huh?
there's also still all of these like doom and gloom, so and so from blah, blah, blah explains why dark times are coming. There's still a lot of that.
Yeah, and here's the thing, like, there's some not so great earnings, which are like Hanes. Hanes came out with earnings today, and their sales are down 16%, and they are projecting out that things are going to be ugly. They eliminated their dividend, and a huge earnings miss, and the stock went down. I don't know, how many percentage is Hanes down? Let's see. And these are big businesses. Canada Goose, same thing, getting hammered, and that's a luxury brand.
Yep.
So I do think, like, yes, there are some really positive things happening. Like, I think big tech is getting rewarded because they made the necessary cuts, but business is still tough.
Yeah.
I was looking,
but it's
I was
not
looking,
like, catastrophe. So
yeah,
far.
that's all we want is no catastrophe. Even
A little
Kathy Wood says she sees rates coming down this year. She's
Wow.
feeling
Believe
herself.
Kathy now. Yeah.
Yeah, Kathy's just
Kathy's
walking
looking
around.
real good.
Her confidence level is through the roof. But I don't know, if you look at all these consumer companies, like, they're struggling. They're really struggling.
Yeah, I think the industry that got hammered the most is the one going up, which is tech.
Yeah.
These stocks are down like 80%.
Yeah, they definitely were completely oversold.
Yeah.
They did not deserve the beating they got. And I think for me, for everything to be fully back, I need to see IPOs.
Still
Yeah.
think that's going to be a bit.
That's tough.
Yeah. Good old SPAC.
That's,
I need to see
gosh.
6 packs.
Oh,
You see
man. When you
six packs.
see 6 packs, it's time to sell.
exactly.
Oh, my God. And what do you think? When do the IPOs start rolling in? Like
End of the year.
Oh, not
Yeah.
even next year.
I mean, I think you'll actually see the IPO window
sooner?
open next year, but I think end of this year, you'll start to see companies, all these good ones, go out.
Yeah, profitable, healthy.
Yeah.
There will be some IPOs this year for sure.
I mean, yeah, the sexy ones are the ones I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure some
Biotech.
biotech, some concrete company that I've never heard of.
Yeah. It's always stuff like that. I think the other big news that came out, mortgage rates dropped to the 5% range for the first time since September.
They're feeling
I'm
Kathy
back.
Wood's prediction.
Yeah.
The rates are coming down.
I mean, that's a humongous drop. It was in the 6s, last week?
Last week it was in the 6s. The week before it was in almost 7.
Yeah. Now, I mean, that thing drops another percent. People are back to buying houses.
We're back. It was just a slight little hiccup. We are back to the party.
It's really, I'm really curious to see if we can pull off this soft landing.
When you were younger and you could party really hard, and then there was sometimes when you would have to run outside or run to the bathroom and puke, but you still felt good enough to go right back to the party.
Yeah.
That's what we're dealing with here.
I never really felt good. I was usually blacked out.
You can keep it going. You can take another shot and you're like, I'm back. And then there's sometimes when you just had to check out and go home.
This is hair of the dog. This is hair of the dog.
We thought we'd have to check out and go home. Nah. We just need to
pop a White Claw and keep your day going.
Let's go. Yeah.
So I was just looking at Apple's other revenue, which is AirPods, wearables,
Cloud.
That's ridiculous.
not cloud. Apple's AirPods,
Charging,
wearables, and
dongles.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
40 billion, separate from the phone, which is 210 billion, and then
40
Apple's-
billion in dongles.
And you know what Netflix's total revenue is? Take a guess.
8.
31.
Okay.
But if their other products are
That's absurd.
50 or 33% higher than
Yeah.
Netflix,
So
get
crazy.
rid of N from Fang. Netflix needs to go.
And that's Netflix revenue just
We have, to
burning money.
we have to change the order of the words.
Yeah. And
Look,
so
I know, we
Anand's
talked about
gonna
that
get-
I know. Yeah.
Gas.
What's it called now?
Anand wants to just cause a complete disaster to Wall Street. Drop the N and Fang.
Yeah. I'm going all in on
Imagine CNBC.
But in all seriousness, Netflix should not be in the same conversation as Facebook,
Apple,
Apple,
and
Amazon,
No.
and Google.
We can put
Absolutely not.
Tesla.
Yeah, you could put Tesla.
Yeah. Can't say Fat G either.
Yeah, Fat G. That's not bad. That's like Top G, but Fat G. Oh my
We'll
god! I
work
agree.
on the
I don't even
order.
know why. I mean, that's over, right? Like they're out of that list. Why do they're not even kind of in that ballpark?
They're not at the scale, definitely, because Facebook, Apple, Amazon, and Google are just enormous. They're just so fucking big.
Yeah.
And like their other revenues are just massive. Like Google, like YouTube's revenue is like $30-40 billion a year. That's one product of theirs.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with that. They need to rest. It's just it's a word. It's a letter issue.
Yeah, we might have to. Yeah,
They
We gotta
might
wait.
just keeping it on.
Honestly, they're probably having those conversations like, nah, fuck it. Just keep
Nah,
Netflix
just
there.
leave it. Just leave it.
that N is worth a lot of money.
Oh, that's great. I wonder if, like, to me, it almost feels, tell me if this makes any sense. Like, it almost feels like there's kind of two stories in the stock market happening at the same time, where like there's kind of the growth tech story of like got massively cut. Now they're starting to have some really great news. And then to me, like the Hanes story and those sort of things are more of like inflation and its effects on regular people's shopping and like kind of a different narrative happening. Right.
Well, we know for a fact the markets could rip while the country falls apart.
Yeah.
Yes, that happened in 2009.
Yeah.
People were getting
I mean, that
foreclosed
happened
on.
during COVID. Nobody was even leaving their houses. We were ripping.
Yeah, people were dying and the market was ripping.
Yeah. So I think we can easily have a fantastic year in the market while the economy falls apart.
As long as it doesn't fall apart, it can slow
Yeah.
and the market will be fine.
Okay. Well, it looks like homes are back. I mean, we're back. We're back. It was a tough year. We deserve this.
Yeah, everyone wants to feel better about themselves. What better way than seeing your portfolio go up?
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, it does feel good.
I felt good this week,
man. I wake up now. All I do now, because it was so depressing for the last year, is I just check my little stocks thing on my computer. I don't keep it on my phone anymore. And when I wake up, and I just see what's going on. Where's the NASDAQ? Where's the S&P? What's give me the general overview. And it's just been, especially the last week, it's just been great ways to start your day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when you pick up the phone,
And you see green?
see green, you're happy. It starts.
You're happy.
Such a nice color.
It's a great color. Okay. How about this? Celsius. You guys like Celsius, right?
Mhm.
Anand's a big Celsius guy. That's why
Big
I wanted
guy.
to let him know.
Well, guess what? More good news for you, Anand. We got some money for you to throw into that Facebook stock. If you've ever purchased a Celsius drink and you have proof of purchase, it looks like you're eligible for $250 if you have your receipt. Now, apparently, even if you don't have your receipt, they'll give you $20. So it sounds like stimmy.
I'm
little
telling you,
Celsius stimmy
everyone
check.
should go get $20. Everyone who listens to group chat, don't say we didn't do anything. Go to the Celsius class action settlement webpage. If you upload the receipts, you get $250.
What sucks is I bought my Celsius from a gas station.
So you have receipts.
It just says ExxonMobil or whatever.
No, I'm sure it says.
I have
A
a
physical
feeling-
receipt will have
it will
the-
have an itemized.
Who's taking a physical receipt?
Lots of people. Lots of people have physical receipts.
Yeah, most people keep their receipts. Yeah.
What's the lawsuit for?
Who cares? You get $20.
Who cares, man? $250. Fucking load it up. Roll it into
because they said
Facebook. Ride
they
the
were
party.
containing no preservatives despite containing citric acid.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was. And they said citric acid was for flavoring, not for preserving. They lost anyway. So, I mean, these guys are just doling out cash. I mean, when this is going to go, I mean, this is like, I'm sure this is on TikTok. These guys are
They may
they
get cleared out for $2-3 billion on this thing.
Yeah, I mean, people are going to be forging receipts. Like, come on, we saw this during COVID. This is nothing compared to a PPP. You can forge
Flow Rider got a quick $86 million from them.
This company's just getting looted.
Did you guys see the clips?
He drank a Celsius at the press conference.
Yeah.
And he was dancing. He knew he was going to win.
Yeah.
Because he was on the stand and they played one of his songs, the one that he got paid for, and he started like bobbing and dancing on the stand.
I mean, he came up. That's more money than his whole music career.
I mean, he had big songs, but
he did. But $80 million is a lot of money.
Yeah. What's his catalog worth?
Probably doesn't need to sell it now.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. Dr. Dre sold his.
Yeah.
200.
Because literally the reason I keep looking out the window is for some reason, have you seen they're doing all this Dr. Dre, the chronic marketing in LA, in Hollywood?
Well, it may be related to the Grammys.
Because I saw billboards and stuff, and now there's literally a plane that just keeps flying past my window with a massive banner of the Dr. Dre Chronic album cover. I feel like whoever bought that thing's like, all right, let's get to work.
Yeah, let's milk this thing.
Let's monetize this bitch. Yeah. All right. Let's wrap it up with our winners, losers, and content of the week. D, who's your biggest winner of the week?
My biggest winner of the week is the GOAT, Tom Brady. He announced his retirement after his 23 years in the NFL. I mean,
squeeze one more out.
When you think about, doing something for 20 plus years in itself is an accomplishment. Being a professional athlete for 23 years is insane. Being a professional football player for 23 years is absolutely nuts.
Yeah. And to be at the level he was at for 23.
He won a Super Bowl 2 years ago, right?
Right.
I mean, it's just like insane the career he had. To me, like when I think of like the greatest athlete, it means like physical to me. To me, it's LeBron. LeBron's the greatest athlete ever. You've never seen a human being like that.
Just pure athletic ability. Yeah.
Greatest winner of all time to me is Tom Brady.
I would say the reason it's still Jordan, but he won on two different teams and in his 40s.
That's it. That's why it's like the fact that he did it at that age makes it so much difference to me. Michael Jordan, I guess Michael Jordan you can argue he went there 6 times. He won all 6.
And he left for 2 years to not play basketball.
Yeah.
Which no one's ever done.
Yeah.
The only thing I want to point out is that even though like there's kind of 2 ways of looking at it, LeBron is definitely like when it comes to genetics and like then refining it and then whatever, by far probably the most athletic human being on earth. Tom Brady looked like a accountant.
Yeah.
Yep.
And still made it 23 years at the highest level. That's wild. That's like, like the amount that he probably had to train and diet and you know what I mean? Like, whereas LeBron had like the genetic, I don't know, it's just impressive. When you watch his combine footage, it's wild.
Yeah, I would say if you compare the 3, because to me that's like the 3 to compare, and I'm sure everyone has their own list of whoever they want. You're gonna Muhammad Ali or whatever. I never Tiger. That's not a real sport, so that's fine. But like,
whoa.
To me, LeBron had to live up to expectations that no human being has ever had to live up to.
Yeah, he had the highest. Tom Brady had 0
expectations. The fact that he was just like, so that's like, true. So to me, what Tom Brady did defied a lot of things. Michael Jordan just fucking won. He was just stone cold, like stud. But like, I don't know. It's just nice to see. And it's just, Tom Brady is just like, I don't know. It's fascinating.
Did you guys watch his retirement video that he put out?
No.
Yeah. The selfie video?
Yeah, the selfie video. Man, what? I'm curious your take, Drama. What I took from that was like the amount of pain and sacrifice that was just so visible on his face that he endured the last 23 years to be the GOAT.
Yeah.
And it was kind of just like
Sad?
Yeah, sad.
It was like, I'm done. It felt like
he was just broken. Like,
Yeah.
I
do think he should have went out
this.
last year. I think the retirement last year was a lot better. Like,
Yeah.
you know, he had like the message and it was like celebration of Tom Brady. This year, it does kind of feel like he's just fucking exhausted.
Nobody goes out on top. They just always drag it too long. Even Michael Jordan with the Wizards.
Yeah.
You should have never done that. Like, you just...
Mayweather did it. Well, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. Because now he's fucking fighting YouTubers. So he didn't really do it. Yeah.
You know, people can't help it. So I you know, it's kind of sad. So that's my winner.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, that's good. Anand?
My winner is all the tech thought leaders on Twitter.
They're back.
They're back.
Yeah.
They're all.
Oh yeah, they're all geniuses.
They're geniuses
again.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had the smoothie and they're back.
Yeah, they had the smoothie, the genius smoothie, and yeah, it's been fun to watch. Last 2 weeks, they figured out the world.
Amazing.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to actually kind of ride that a little bit. I'm going to give my winner to our boy Elon because I don't know how long this is going to last. And I fully acknowledge that this might be a totally different story even next week. But as of right now, he seems to be successfully navigating the Twitter madness. Tesla stock is up. He might be doing it.
Yeah.
It looked there for a minute like, oh, great. You buy Twitter, Tesla's tanking. What are you doing? Right now, if we just took a snapshot of the storyline today, he's doing the impossible. So I'm going to give him the winner on the week when I can do it because who knows what next week will bring.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty big comeback. I'm sure he's so relieved. Stock's up 90%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just for a little bit even. Like, even if he has just 2 weeks of peace,
yeah.
You know, from that, it's just like, it looked like, wow, you bought Twitter and this thing fell off a cliff. And like, you know, for a moment, I'm sure he's feeling like a hero.
It's insane.
D, who's your loser?
My loser are people that gamble in Las Vegas. So Darren Ravel, who's like I guess he's a sports Twitter personality, posted a tweet that said money made in Nevada in 2022. 1 cent slot machines made $3.6 billion. Blackjack made $1.3 billion. Baccarat made $1.2 billion. $1 slot machine, $725. Number 7 was the sports book. It only made $446 million. It is like guaranteed. Being in gambling, you cannot lose.
No, you can't.
It's unbelievable. You literally can't.
You mathematically can't.
It's the best business.
And you mathematically, if you play long enough, any game, you will lose. That's how the odds are set up.
How crazy is that people go to a city where 100% chance of them are losing and people go.
Yeah, if you play enough, you're going to lose.
Yeah, I'm sure. We know people.
How crazy is it that it's the penny slots that are way
really
bigger
sad. That's
than all of these rich guy
retirees.
gambling hobbies? Yes.
That's retirees. That's your social security check. I mean, at the gas station, I was there this morning, like an older woman was just like sitting there buying scratchers and buying, you know, picking her numbers. And I bet you she does it every week.
Absolutely. That's usually, I don't want to like, you know, I guess stereotype scratchers, but like people who do that, usually that's part of their routine. It's just like 3 billion is penny slots when, you know, sports gambling, you think like, oh, sports gambling, you know, a lot of rich people do it. There's a lot of big money on games. Oh, it's so detrimental to everyday people if you have a gambling problem. That was 400 million. Penny slots are 3 billion.
I will say the caveat with the sports gambling, the off the books is in like the hundreds of billions annually.
That's for sure. That's
Everyone we know is betting on sports all day.
But this is just, but here's the thing is like there is no off the books penny slots. Like this is a window into just what's happening in Nevada. Like it's just crazy. I mean, they should legalize sports gambling and they should completely outlaw penny slots in every state, everywhere. This is wild.
Because this is just Nevada. Gambling's legal in a lot of places.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that was a good one. Anand?
So on my Twitter feed, I specifically follow right-wing thinkers just to see what what they're thinking and
just to check it out.
Check it out. And they're still harassing people about the COVID shot. Like, who cares? You don't go get the shot. Why are you still harassing people?
I think
because like what do they say?
It never worked. Pfizer lied. Da 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 da. Like, who cares at this point?
Because I'll tell you why. I understand why they do it, because they were ostracized in society for the last 2 years for you were not allowed to go here. You can't come here. You can't come to work because they chose not to get it. So that's why, because their lives were made miserable. So they're like, fuck you. We're going to make your life miserable. So
here's where they miss, if you even want to take that, and this is objective. This is not about liberal or Republican. The original virus was the deadliest strain of any of the viruses that have been mutated.
Yeah.
The data shows once we started vaccinating en masse, the mortality rate precipitously declined. So you can't beat that data. And then the virus became less mortal. And so even if the vaccine didn't work against some of these newer strains, it just wasn't as deadly as a strain. The first virus was deadly. I mean, 1 million people died, and I think we're in the first 18 months, and we're at like 1.2 now.
Yeah.
Some of those people are saying those numbers are not accurate anymore.
Also true. This thing is so, like, it's just fucked. Prime for arguing.
Yeah.
I just feel
there's
like
a million ways to look at it. But I do kind of agree with D once he said that, is that, like, everyone did, like, say, you guys are fucking morons. You guys are killing people. If you're not vaccinated, you get COVID, you should be left to die. You fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Fuck you. And so they are, like, now that, whether, like, in that moment, it was kind of right. But now it's past. Now the shots don't protect you. Now whatever. And so now they're like, fuck you guys. Now we're all the same. What now, bitch?
Yeah,
and
like Japan called it the flu.
Like
Japan called it the flu. It's now an endemic, not a pandemic. In May, it's completely...
But no one who has that argument is willing to concede that the virus did mutate to a less deadly virus. So now, even if you get it, whether you're vaccinated or not, you're not likely to die.
Yeah, because their side of that argument is it mutated right around the vaccine as well. And so what was effective for you for 6 months is now nothing. And now we're all on the same page, and you guys screamed at us and you called us idiots, and fuck you. And they're going to take their victory lap. And I think if we're trying to calm polarization, I think the best thing we can do is take the beating. It'll blow over in a minute. And can we all just fucking party and watch the stock market rise? You know what I mean? But it's like, I agree with both of you actually, but like this issue is going to be an issue that families will argue until they die.
Yeah.
It's so ripe for, like, depending on what way you look at it, you're right and the other person's an idiot.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. My loser, I'm going to be honest, it was Celsius, because of Flo Rida not only winning, but, like, you know, victory dancing and welcome to my house. Like, it was just like, damn it, man, not Flo Rida. But we already covered it. So content recommendations, D?
I have nothing. I don't know any content. I have zero content.
You've been busy.
I've watched nothing. I don't know anything that's going on.
But what are you doing on flights? You've had a lot of flights lately.
Honestly, sleeping. I can't sleep when I'm not at home. So I literally just, like,
you try
pass
to squeeze it
out.
in.
Like, I listened to the Zohan.
What'd you think? Pretty wild, huh?
Wild. I agree with everything he says.
10 years. The clock started. According to him, the clock started a month ago. Then the episode released a month ago.
Yeah. You got
That's the only thing I've
months.
consumed in the last. I did start. I was home last night and I got to start watching You People. It's pretty funny.
It's laugh out loud funny.
Eddie Murphy is
I heard it was a little, like, wokey. No,
I loved it.
Okay.
I think it's a polarizing film.
Okay, I might have got bad info. I got it from a friend, not a right wing reporter, but I didn't watch it.
No, people are coming at it from every which way.
Yeah.
People are saying it's anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
People are saying
it's the vaccine movie.
It's definitely the vaccine movie, but everyone should watch it. The cast is ridiculous.
Yeah, the cast is insane.
It's the most, and Eddie Murphy is hilarious. He made the movie. Well, I haven't watched the whole thing, but
John Hill's pretty funny.
He's funny. He's always funny.
Yeah.
Okay, love it. Anand, you got anything?
My content is you should spend the weekend with your friends and family. It's the first week the NFL in like since September.
Most people haven't seen their families in 4 months.
Good point. You get one break. I love how you get like a moment to check in before the big day. Okay, I know I haven't been around much. Are the kids okay? What's going on? That's amazing. All right. Well, I wonder. The NFL already knows who's going to win. So we're just
scripted.
Yeah, scripted. Are you ready to make your prediction? You want to wait till next week? You have one more week.
It's a game week. I'll make my predictions.
How's that ankle looking?
Feels great.
Have you heard any reports?
I don't know. Jackson Mahomes is the source. He says everything's good.
Did you see the video of Jackson and the wife just screaming?
Yeah.
People were like, "Oh no, they're back."
Yeah, the wife went after the cornerback Eli Apple after the game. Jackson's fully back in the mix.
3-2-1 Cancun.
They were silenced for the better part of 2 years.
Because now it's the last game. You can't. What are you gonna do now? It's too late.
Exactly? We're in this bitch. What's the storyline of the Eagles? Like anything interesting? Like is there a quarterback, a young star?
The storyline: Jalen Hurts, their quarterback.
They're just stacked.
No. This is the storyline, which I'm sure they're going to pump up all of next week when press starts officially. The quarterback of the Eagles, Jalen Hurts, was a star quarterback at Alabama, got benched in the national title game at the half. They brought in Tua. Tua wins the national title, takes the starting job. Jalen Hurts has to transfer from Alabama and then makes the NFL, and now he's in the Super Bowl.
Got it. And Tua
had 3 concussions this
in the last month.
Or this year. Yeah. And so I think they're going to, and there's like a speech that Jalen Hurts gave right after the game when he got benched, the game he got benched, that how happy he was for Tua. And if you watch it, I'm sure it'll pop up on your TikTok if you search it. And it actually seemed like he was very genuine. It wasn't just like the scripted. So they're going to make him the great human of the week.
So I'm an Eagles guy. I just decided. I just can't do this whole Jackson Mahomes.
Yeah,
I can't do this Jackson Mahomes thing. Eagles, they sound like great guys. I'm Eagles.
And Michael Rubin doesn't lose. His company just keeps making more money.
He's not an Eagles owner.
No, he's an Eagles fan.
Just writing him as a fan.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart, Michael Rubin.
They got a whole crowd. They got Meek Mill. They got everybody. They got
cool
fans.
The Uzi Vert dance. Give me a break.
Yeah, I'm with those guys. guys. I made up my mind.
Culturally, they're the team to win.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's actually my content. Everyone should go search the Uzi Vert dance.
I mean, it's on TikTok every 5 seconds.
Yeah. I didn't realize what they were doing in the end zone. I thought it was really fascinating, but I didn't realize it was.
And he walked them out last game. Uzi Vert.
They're going to win. They're going to win. I want to see Jackson Mahomes in tears on TikTok. I told you, next year.
The real question, the pop culture question, will the Eagles, before they come out, play Dreams and Nightmares, Meek Mill, or the Uzi Vert? You just want to rock.
You got to do Uzi.
I think they're Uzi. I think they're just younger now.
Yeah.
That Dreams and Nightmares, as much
like 10 years old.
Yeah,
Dreams
it's perfect.
Like 10 years old. Like, you can't play that.
And they like to dance, this new generation.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need that energy. Okay. My content, I don't know if this gets me in trouble or not, but Louis C.K. went on Rogan. So Louis C.K. did a special at the Madison Square Garden.
I think there's 4 sold out nights.
Yeah, and apparently he used to do Madison Square Garden all the time when he was at the peak of his comedy career, and then obviously he got canceled and that all went away, and then this is his first. He did his first show back at Madison Square Garden and sold it out and did a live comedy special on his website. But he went on Rogan, and he's actually just a really smart dude. The way he thinks about developing specials and comedy, and he obviously understands his comedy, that he's so controversial, and how he thinks through that. It's just a really good look into how a really intelligent comedian forms a set. It's really good.
Yeah, I listened to it. It was great.
Yeah, he's great. I mean, I don't
3.5 hours for you.
Yeah,
I don't mind Louis C.K., but 3.5 hours seems.
That'll get you all the way to New York almost.
He's in favor of dropping Netflix out of the moniker.
Is he?
Oh, Louis is. Yeah. He was talking about it a lot actually on the show. He was
using that word a lot.
He was using the moniker. Yeah. He was a big stock guy. Big stock guy. Okay, that's all we got. We got a shout out.
Yeah, we have a shout out to Rohit Matthews from his wife Shruti Patel. Birthday on February 4th. Long time listener to the pod. Definitely talked to him on Instagram. Happy 40th birthday. Woo!
Happy birthday.
Big one, 40.
Yeah, that's a big.
You know what's
4-0.
crazy? I basically missed all the 40th birthdays for my friends.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Brian was the only one because it was before COVID and nobody else of my friends had a 40th birthday.
If you think about, remember John Turgeon, the king of nightlife, we celebrated his birthday at a parking lot.
Yeah. Fred Siegel.
That's what you did.
Because it was COVID. And it was like real COVID back then. Like lockdown COVID.
Yeah, May 2020. So we were just all kind of standing far
and
each other.
everyone didn't want to like.
We had like a bottle of tequila and we're just sitting in a parking lot like it would work in the valley.
Oh my God, like a bunch of soccer dads or something.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Kinda
How
sad.
crazy is that?
It was depressing.
Hey, props to those guys, by the way, because their H-Wood Super Bowl. I mean, they posted that. Someone posted a photo of the original, like when Drake performed when we all went to Arizona.
Yeah.
And, you know, I remember that was like a huge deal. Like, oh my God, they got Drake to perform. It's so crazy. But like now they fucking own like any of these big, you know, Coachella,
Weekends.
Super Bowl, Art Basel. Like H-Wood not only owns LA nightlife, but they pretty much own every, like where
Big
the hell
event.
is everybody else?
Yeah, what do you? They just got their ass kicked. That's what happened.
What?
And it's the 8-year anniversary of my big breakout moment when Drake posted me.
Oh yeah,
That's searchable
Yeah.
on Instagram.
You should
gotta
post that as a
scroll
throwback for this Super Bowl.
Yeah. When you see, if you see Drake in Scottsdale, you could just be like, "Remember me?"
Yeah. Show him the photo. I'm that guy.
Hey,
See if you can
I will
recreate it.
say he definitely has seen us because on the picture that Anthony posted post my wedding, Drake commented.
What is he clowning?
Said, I want to see the full video because he just took a picture of him doing one of the Indian dances.
Yeah. There you go.
Lot
You
of
should try
connection.
to. Well, this is what you should do. You should really do this. You guys are going to Super Bowl?
Yeah.
You should go with. You should go try to go where the stairs are leading up to wherever Drake. Like just position yourself like 30 minutes early and just be ready to smile and see if you can't do.
You remember me?
8 years ago, and then right next to today's version. That'd be incredible.
Yeah.
That might go viral.
Unbelievable.
All right, there we have it. That's it.
That's it.
Oh, by the way, Ari, I want you to know my mom was very disappointed that my light was like really bright on my face last episode. So if you could warn me about that next time,
Wow.
Ooh.
you know, my mom
Wow.
was
Absolutely.
not
That's
happy.
what I'm here for. I will warn you next time.
She said I was washed out. She said it wasn't good. Okay, thank you. Okay.
Maybe get a tan.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Oh, aren't you looking for a raise?
Next
Okay, next
pod
episode.
is
By the
coming
way,
up.
Kathy's next pod, we're doing Ari's live raise discussion.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye-bye.